Hello, welcome to Merriment Mondays. Merriment Mondays live. And you are my merriment makers. And I don't know, I said it like that, like like a child. And I am Mary England, your host, and I'm here to help you kickstart your week with joy and energy. And today we are talking about the mid-January slump, the time where New Year's energy, that new relationship energy you have with the new year starts to fade and everything kind of feels a little bit harder. Why is this saying that I have a poor connection? Okay, so yeah, so everything kind of feels a little bit harder, and the way that you're feeling, you're just not alone. I mean, if you're feeling like that anyway, so studies show that by January 20th, or just like this time in January, not like 80% of people have abandoned their New Year's resolutions, and millions of people are facing seasonal depression. And I mean, even if you're in a part of the year, the sorry, even if you're in a part of the world where it's warm, then you can still just feel like, it's the new year. There's a lot of activism things happening politically. There's a million reasons to feel like you're struggling. And I just wanted to check in. So, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Drop a word in the chat. Let us know what's going on. Hello, hello, hello. Trying to check in on all the platforms. We're live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And let us know how you're doing, whether it's sluggish, hopeful, meh, scared. No judgment here. So the January slump is real. It's, between colder weather, shorter days, post-holiday come down. There's no wonder why the energy level drops. And we add that into pressure with resolutions, and it's really easy to feel overwhelmed. So I want to talk about inertia and the the feeling of feeling stuck. So when you're stuck, it can feel like the hardest part. And it's like trying to push something really big, a boulder, up a hill, and you need that initial burst to get rolling. But once it's moving, it gets a lot easier to get going. The key is always, always, always to start small. I think my internet connection is being a jerk. I think that's possible. It says the status is fair. Matt, will you join and see what's going on? I don't think you can hear me. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going and assume that it's okay. It says it's fair, the bit rate. Okay. So we're talking about starting small. So the idea is that 10 minutes of anything, 5 minutes of anything can feel really big. Anything can feel like really big. So start with just 10 seconds. Start with the idea of wiggling your toes. Start with the fact that, if you're feeling like you're on the floor, and if you are physically on the floor and you're just not able to really do anything, that's okay. So, I've been working with, 5-minute challenges, 5-minute tasks, and it's completely reasonable to feel like that too is overwhelming. And I just want you to even be able to scale it back down, to scale it back further and further and further until you're just like, okay, what is it that I can do? What is it that I feel like is possible for me right now? So if you can feel like you're able to wiggle your arms, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, take one single deep breath. Those are micro movements, and they are tiny. If they seem tiny, it's because they are tiny, but they are still powerful because it's just breaking up this inertia, right? So we have moving and we have not moving. We have doing and we have not doing. And if we can just signal to your brain that something is happening, that change is happening, then we need to like basically just tell yourself, tell your brain, tell the physical parts of you that something can happen, something is happening. I always talk about how, when I am on the couch, it gets easier and easier and easier for me to stay there, whether it's because I'm depressed or I'm watching a TV show. But as soon as I get up, as soon as I finally make the decision to get up, whatever gets me there, whether it's because I have to go to the bathroom or I am just sick of myself, right? Then I'm like, oh, what was I doing? What was I doing here this whole time? So it's really just about giving yourself the awareness and the ability to make that small shift. So the inertia can be this it's really just about staying in this same space. And that same space might be staying in a relationship. It could be staying in an addiction. It could be staying on the couch. It doesn't really matter. It's that we have to like shift that one thing to another thing. But right now we're talking about the January slump. And if you feel like you're just like, ugh, I'm doing the same thing, I'm in a rut, I feel like it's cold out, I hate this, I'm just, doing the littlest that I can, the absolute baseline of what I can do, then that's okay. And oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see this chat over here from YouTube. And okay, scared politically, giving grace to take things slow. Yes. So it's also like we can also feel like we are in a place where we are purposefully taking things slow. And it could be like that's part of things. And we are in a slump mentally too, right? So there's physical slumps, there's mental slumps, there's all sorts of slumps, right? And and this is not about January either, right? This is where we are right now. But if you're in a place where you're at any point when you feel like that slump, getting in a rut, and you're just like, "Ugh, I don't like what's happening. I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling meh. I'm feeling scared." Then what we need to do is we need to shake it up like a snow globe. Just shake it up and do anything that we can to be there for ourselves. And just think about the couch analogy, right? There's so many reasons that we could be on the couch. We could be like for the sake of the analogy, we could be like just sitting there watching the show. We could and just like keep pressing like Netflix is like, "Are you still there, dude?" Because like I'm worried about you. Or like when Hulu asks if you're still there, you're like, "All right, bro. Yeah, I'm still here." Like if Hulu asks if you're still there, you really have to still be there. You have to really be there for Hulu. So I'm saying like maybe it's that. Maybe it's that you like don't want to get up. Maybe it's that you are scared. Maybe it's that you're going through a breakup. Maybe it's that you're freezing. Maybe it's that you're like you're just isolating yourself. So whatever it is, whyever it is that you are slumping, that you are isolating, that you are not doing what it is that you really want to do, right? And maybe it's that you want to figure out what it is that you want to do. Maybe it's that that you don't know what you want to do, but you're scared to figure out what you want to do. Maybe you want to be successful, but you're scared of success. Maybe it's that you want to do something. And if you were going to die in a week, you would look back and you'd be like, I can't believe I told Hulu I was still there. That was a shame. That was a damn shame that I told Hulu I was still there. And if we look back in a week, I really am very aware of our impermanence here as people, as humans, as creatures. And I think that that is something that has really fueled me personally to continue on in this life and be aware of the fact that like, hey, we are only here for a little bit of time, whatever that is, and we don't know what we have, right? So I think, there's a nuance and a duality between being like, today is a day where I'm gonna have to go slow and I'm gonna have to give myself a break because if I don't do that, my body's gonna take a break for me and that break might be brutal. And then I'm gonna like really regret not taking this break on purpose. That specific timeout for my mental health, for my body, because if I don't do that, I'm going to land in the hospital. I'm going to have a big old break. I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to break my bones, whatever it is, right? If you don't break, your body will break for you. And it's going to be worse than you expected. But without that, without that, there's also this decision that we all have to make of, am I not taking a break, or am I rather taking a break? Am I taking too many breaks? Am I not scheduling my life? Am I not making time for myself? Am I not making time for my goals? Am I not trying to get out of this slump? Am I not trying to break through? Am I not trying to shake myself up and make this a little bit better for myself? Am I not trying to reclaim my energy? And that I think is something that we've all been guilty of, right? That we've all not done. And we use a lot of things externally, whatever it is, to blame not accomplishing our own goals on. I've done it with landlords. I've done it with my parents. I've done it with politics. I've done it with ex-boyfriends. I've done it with trauma. I've done it with everything. And I've used it as a way to be like, okay, well, because this happened, I I can't do this myself today. I'm not going to be able to do this because this has all happened to me. And there's a difference again between being like, this happened, I need to process this, I need to work through this, and taking that mental health day, working on ourselves, processing our emotions, looking through things with a comb, right? Becoming a more evolved person, working through things, playing through things, embodying our emotions, releasing our anger, and then also using things as an excuse to be a victim. So those are two different sides of essentially the same coin, but I just want to also empower us to look at what's happening, whether it's this week, in 500 weeks, and just say like, okay, is it that we're going to continue to always slump and take things slow, or are we going to make the most of our lives as much as we can and use the tools in our toolbox to feel as good as we can and do as much good as we can? Because that is what merriment making is about. It's about making sure that we can use the tools and resources that we have to feel good as a person so we can feel good, and then we go out and we do good, because it's not going to be very helpful for us to go try to do good if we don't feel good. If we haven't gotten a good night's sleep, if we haven't, taken care of ourselves, we're not going to be able to go out and do good. It's just not going to be able to happen. And it's also not going to be able to happen if we are taking the victim role, if we're constantly blaming something else. However, I really just think that the whole point of this life. I mean, today is literally MLK Day. I mean, how many quotes does that man have? How many amazing things did he say about how the point of this life was to go be there for other people? So I agree with that. And we really gotta just I mean, we have to be empathetic to ourselves. We have to be self-compassionate, and let's think about how to get out of this slump so that we can go back to our communities, do good for other people through the lens of our own passion and skills that is great for us. It's great for them, rises other people as well, and rises us, like a rising tide lifts all ships. Yes. So if we are scared of the quote unquote bad news, then go out and be the good news that you wish to see, right? So instead of everybody like kind of coming down and slumping together, that's not really helping anybody. I want us all to rise up and go out on the streets. And like literally, this past weekend I did some guerrilla art on the streets. I was handing out like these colorful balloons with positive affirmations written on them. I was handing out, I was dressed as this lollipop. I was handing out lollipops with nice, fun puns written on them and stickers. I had a sign that said honk if you would date yourself. And the amount of people that came up to me that were like so hesitant about whether or not the balloons were really free, if the lollipops were really free. I had a sign that said these are free, right? Free balloon, free lollipops. And people were like genuinely, really, really, really not trusting about whether it was free or not. And they came up and they said, what is this really free? They couldn't believe it. We have a lot of trust issues, I think, to work through as a society. Okay. So anyway, my point with all of this, with this tangent, I wish we were neighbors too, is that I I want the point of this is we're going to talk about the January slump, yes, to reclaim energy. And I want you to use this energy to go feel good and then do good. You're a merriment maker. Okay, so let's focus on things that anybody can do, no matter your budget, no matter your mobility or your energy level. All right, so breathing. Breathing is so powerful. And again, I don't want you to roll your eyes at the simplicity of some of these. I want you to be empowered by the simplicity of them, about the accessibility of them, about the fact that these are always in your tool chest, about the fact that we don't use the 101 and then we get mad about the fact that we're not at the 401. People who are at the 401 advanced level have been doing the 101 every single day. Okay, so just don't roll your eyes and blow off the 101. Do it every single day for 3 months and then come back to me and tell me how you feel before you blow it off and roll your eyes. Okay, so 101 breathing, one deep intentional breath can calm your nervous system. We're actually what we're wanting to do is activate your parasympathetic nervous system. That's what we're really trying to do. That's what has your vagus nerve in it. We are trying, let's just do it together. Try this with me. We're going to breathe in for 4 counts. We're going to hold for 4, and we're going to go out for 4. In through your nose, out through your mouth, hold for 4 in the middle. Okay? Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Let's do it again. In, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you do that and you hold it at the bottom too, that's a box breathing. That's a box breathing technique. There's so many different kinds of breathing techniques that are very simple, very easy, and really just using your breath to fill up parts of your body, imagining that they're filling up different parts of your body. So as you breathe in, like imagine that you're filling up your shoulders. Imagine that you're kind of like bringing your breath in to fill up your chest. Imagine that you're bringing it in to fill up your the bottom parts of your belly. Really kind of like moving your breath. Imagine like as you're breathing in, try to imagine that you're going to like take it here. Like just as you breathe in, just be like, it's weird, but you got to practice and just be like, okay, even if it's not actually moving there. Like, I mean, I know your lungs are stationary, but just try to imagine that you're really trying to breathe all the air as much as you can, like up into this part. Like, if anything, what you're doing is you're just trying to breathe, you end up breathing more air into your lungs. And the more oxygen you have, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have a lot of oxygen. That's great. Okay. So, okay, the next thing is resetting your posture. Okay. So, sitting up a little straighter can help a bunch of things. It can help your confidence for sure. But if you're able, roll your shoulders back a little bit and lift your chest right now in your chair or if you're standing, and just your energy can actually shift. Your posture can affect your confidence. And by doing that, it activates parts of your brain that we're going to I'm not going to get okay. So basically, we're working on activating your energy right now. We're working on making you feel more alive right now. So if we do breathing, posture reset, the next thing you can do is changing your environment. Instagram is being a jerk. Okay. Um, if you're feeling stuck, try moving to a physically different room. If you're at work, try getting up and just walking around for like a second. If you can, opening a window, changing the scenery at all, organizing things on your desk in a different way. Scenery and environment, especially depending on who you are, I am deeply impacted by this, can work wonders on your mood, especially organizational techniques. Like if there's things that are cluttered on your desk, a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind. So actually increasing your energy. And this is, again, we're trying to do things that are like not affected by mobility or accessibility or budget. Okay. And then laughter. So finding something that is funny is going to deeply make your laughter laughter is so deeply connected to dopamine and or even if it's thinking about a memory or looking at something online, stand-up comedy, a funny video, even fake laughing or fake smiling can trick your brain into releasing endorphins. Okay, so we are so deeply affected by laughter. It's insane. And it actually really, really, really does increase your mood and your energy. Okay, So here's some other tips that aren't necessarily all budget friendly or accessibility friendly or whatever, but here's some other things that you can do. So there's specific foods that will help boost your energy in that same day and also over time. You can look up like I apologize. Fat, good fats. So things like avocados and really, I think a really good one is a handful of shelled pistachios. Or I mean, you can have just you can shell them yourself, but those are like easier to eat. There's also things that are really good for your brain, like blueberries. Those are extremely good for your brain. But for energy, shelled pistachios, go for those. Also, the smell of peppermint. I personally don't like peppermint, but it doesn't matter if we're using it medicinally, essentially. So if you just smell peppermint, it's going to activate your mood. Sorry, not your mood, your energy. It's going to activate your energy. Um, Also, I want you to consider the fact if you are an extrovert or an introvert. So if you are extroverted, how long has it been since you've really talked to somebody and had a meaningful, deep conversation with them? If you're extroverted and you're stranded and not talking to people in person, then you are drained the same way that an introverted person has been at a party for 3 days. Okay. So if you're extroverted and you are not having conversations with people in person, you need that. So make time for that. And it can't just be like always superficial conversation. Just because you're at an office and an extrovert doesn't mean that you're getting what you need in terms of nourishment of social connection. You actually need to make time to go talk to people in person. Okay. And then if you're introverted, same thing, you know you need to recharge and do specifically what works for you. Okay. With energy, if you are on screens, which a lot of us are, there needs to be a 20-20-20 principle. So what I do now when I'm on the computer, I mean, one, I have a lot of like blue screens on. I have this like protector on my desktop that like is an overlay. It like hangs on the desktop. And I have all of these like yellow tints on the settings of my phone and my desktop. So everything is like not white and anything that I'm using is on black mode if possible. And what was I going to tell you? Oh, the 20-20-20. So I have a separate window open on my phone or on my Windows, and it's set on just a timer. If on Google, you can type in just the word timer, hit enter, and a timer shows up. And I type in 20 minutes and it's on repeat. And every 20 minutes, this little timer goes off, and I look away from the computer 20 feet. Now, I don't know what that's converted to in metric because Americans are stupid with that. But you look about 20 feet away. So you just really are, the point is to focus your gaze on something else. And that's not close up. And you look away for 20 seconds, you hold it. And during that time, I'll often like stretch my body and just kind of work it out. I'll remind myself to drink water and do that. If I need to take a bathroom break, that's when I do that as well. And then I reset the timer. And that's the 20-20-20 principle. Every 20 minutes, you look away for 20 feet for 20 seconds. And by doing that, my eyes have experienced so much less fatigue. And that's also, like I said, combined with the blue light and the yellow filters and the black mode. And by doing that, it's also increased my energy because when my eyes are drained, I want to take a nap. I want to lay down. I feel like I have headaches. It's insane. Okay. Other tips for increasing your energy, writing down things that you're grateful for and that you just recently have accomplished, or just over time that you've accomplished. Taking time, and those are also self-esteem and confidence boosting techniques. Things that boost your confidence and your self-esteem are overlapped with things that can boost your energy. Anything that can make you laugh or it can boost your confidence will also boost your energy. Um, Drinking electrolytes. So every morning I have a separate bottle and I pour these like blue scoops of electrolytes, not like the sugary ones. They're from like a health food store. I'm sure that it's better than nothing to do the ones that are like I can't remember the brand, but the ones that have sugar in them. But I just do like 2 scoops of these electrolytes because the way that we need you need to drink water, obviously, like getting enough sleep and drinking water and having nutrition. I mean, I'm not even covering those. Like those are, I think, pretty obvious and basic. You should probably go to bed by like 10:30 if your schedule allows for it and you're not on like a night shift. And drinking water, but like with drinking water, we're also a lot of the water that we're drinking doesn't have electrolytes in it, and we need those. And sometimes we get dehydrated even with drinking regular water, and we can kind of like it's basically kind of like it's not sticking to us, so we end up just kind of like peeing it out. So the electrolytes help us in a lot of ways. Taking a cold shower can wake you up. Dancing, dancing is so good. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. And it doesn't matter if anyone's watching. And it doesn't matter if you're recording it. It doesn't matter. And it also, you can just dance to anything that feels good to you. Like I was talking, I think it was the last time we were on here that right before I came on, the song that came on my Spotify was from the Goofy movie. And I love listening to that now. I forgot completely all about that soundtrack, and I don't care that if anybody likes it. I love that, and I love dancing to it. And then going outside and playing outside. For the rest of my life, I will always say, well, I don't know who's to say what will change, but playing to me is so much better than meditation. I think that it's a different kind of flow state, and anything that you can do that's playful or creative, I think is so, so, so helpful. And then doing any sort of like quick burst of energy, like lifting your knees or doing a jumping jack, or just, just anything that's going to get your heart rate up just a little bit. Or even if you like I'm wearing a Fitbit right now, and it'll remind you, like, if you haven't gotten all your steps in at the end of the hour, to do like 250 steps. So I'll just like march around the house to get those 250 steps in. But you can just do that. You can just try to get like 250 steps in, or just imagine what that looks like, or just do like high knees, or try to just do anything you've ever seen, or put on a YouTube video for dancing. People say like taking a power nap. I don't find that to be helpful. I have sleep issues though, and I can't take a nap that's like not 2.5 hours and feel rested. So that's an issue for me. But if power naps work for you, then definitely try it. But I also recommend trying to sleep in a way that is like a unique spot, maybe, or like upside down. I think stuff like that can help. And then doing anything that's outdoor. Like I said, like playing outside, but also just like going outside, getting fresh air, doing a quick walk in nature, looking at something in nature. I think looking at animals in nature is super helpful. Just observing anything at all in nature. And then you can even try to do something that's like a brain teaser, like there's that app Luminosity, and that can help you you know, it's not teasing your brain necessarily. It's kind of like helping you reconnect. It's creating neuroplasticity in your brain. It's helping multiple different functions. It's helping memory. It's helping like it if you play with it, it's helpful. And you can also see how you score in different age groups. It's pretty cool. Okay, so Lynn's saying I do a lot of these all the time. That's great. Okay. If you guys have any other tips, then please share them. We all want to know like what it is that you do for um for boosting your energy. I mean, there's also like obviously like supplements that you can take, protein and cordyceps, and there's so many different things. I'm trying to you know, not not rely on products and stuff, and just do things that are like natural to you. But planting seeds or plants, get your hands in the soil. Yes. I mean, any sort of play, any sort of creativity, anything that's fun for you, anything in nature, anything outside. It's really just about like waking yourself up and really just breaking up the inertia, like I said at the beginning. But always start where you are. If movement is accessible to you, it doesn't mean like that you have to exercise. It's just like gently swaying or tapping your fingers to the beat, or simply standing up for a moment. Like the idea is really just to meet yourself where you are and build from there. And like Lori said at the beginning, giving yourself permission to take things slow. Like inertia doesn't have to be 0 to 60. I don't know why that phrase is so common in America, because we want the overnight success, really, at the end of the day. I think that's really what we want. So I don't need anyone, or no one needs anything to go from 0 to 60. That's not the thing. We do just need for us to just start. That's really all we need. We need us to start. And if you can be like, I'm going from crying on the couch to putting my hands in the soil, then fantastic. That's fantastic. But every day is always going to look different too. And some days, some weeks, you're going to find that you have inertia, that you've kept it going every single day. And some weeks you're going to be like, why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? So these are for really the days you feel like you're lacking the inertia, where you can't do it, or you're slumping in the middle of the day, right? So these are tools for your mental toolbox. And I also really encourage you to write some of these down. If any of these feel like something you're like, okay, that was it, that one felt like for me, right? Because you know how you read a book and there's like one sentence in the book that changes you, right? You're like, okay, I mean, I read the whole thing, but there was that one sentence from that book that stood out. Sometimes that's how learning is. So if when I was talking and you were like, okay, I think that's the thing, like the 2020 for whatever reason, that's what my soul was like, yep, I think that's what I need to start doing. Or you were like, I think it was smelling peppermint, or maybe it was like taking a cold shower, but I want to change that to splashing my face with water, or I want to put my hands in the sand, or I want to like eat pistachios and try that. Like whatever it was, like let your body tell you like what was the thing that you want to try. Lynn's also suggesting coloring or scribbling or chair dancing. Yeah, this is all anything at all that's really breaking up the monotony of the day, that's getting yourself moving. Okay. Anything that's using your body. And now I want you to think of one thing that you're going to do this week to feel more energized. It could be something that we talked about, it could be something completely different. And if you have an idea, if you are feeling like you want to be energized, or if you are struggling with being energized right now, or if you want to, you know, do something, or sorry, if you want to have something in your back pocket for when you have a slump in the future. Try peppermint and orange together. Yes, citrus also works. Peppermint is like the creme de la creme for scents in terms of energizing, but citrus is like the next one down. So if you want to mix peppermint and citrus, that's great. So in terms of like the modality of how to do that, I would do like essential oils would be a great example, or a, an incense, right? So taking those things and figuring out like how am I going to use this, right? So okay. So feel free to share like what's something that you're going to do this week to make sure that you're energized, or if you find yourself in a slump, what is it that you're going to do? And the secret to beating the slump is just creating momentum and staying consistent and making sure that you know in your head that you can always just take tiny steps whenever something feels difficult for you. So celebrate that and turn it into something bigger whenever you feel like whenever you feel that you want to. Whenever you feel like you want to or that you need to. Because when we are on the couch, sometimes we don't feel like we want to, but we do need to. And remember that this is all about, at the end of the day, feeling good so that we can do good, because we have so much to give, so much to be grateful for, and so much to contribute. So when we feel good, when we are not in a slump, and when we are, grasping and living out our potential, we have the opportunity to give back to others, to spread joy to other people, and to help them get out of their slumps. So if you want to go deeper, then the Merriment Reset program could be your next step. And it's only $29. It's less than $1 a month. Sorry, less than $1 a day. And you get 30 days of challenges, tools, and inspiration to reset your energy and your joy and your confidence. And I just want to let you know that you don't have to do this alone. So there's a whole program. It's really cool. It's one of my favorite things that I've created. And it's like 5-minute challenges. They're very simple, they're very easy, and there's all sorts of types of learning. There's tapping, there's breath work, there's meditation, there's physical challenges, there's journaling, there's pep talks, there's mood boosters, it's like audio, video, all different types of learning worksheets. And if you want to try it out, I really recommend it. And you can find that at uncustomary.org/merriment-reset. And I'll put that in the chat. And then this should go out to all of everything. And like I said, it's only $1 a day. It's actually less. And you also get a a 30-day joy calendar printable. You get a kickoff workshop. You get you get a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So it's really cool. I really recommend checking it out. If anything, just go check out the landing page and see what you think. Okay. And don't forget to join the Positive Pulse. It's a free community and it's actually being transferred to an app as we speak. You'll be able to access it from your phone instead of Facebook because I know everybody's like freaking out about Facebook. But it's also just going to be better. So Positive Pulse is full of resources and connection to keep you inspired all year long. And before you go, let me know something that you're going to do this week to break the slump. Get some sidewalk chalk and draw smiles on the sidewalk. I take a class that involves breathing, meditation, and singing. I try to find something like this to do a few times a week. That's awesome. I love that. I'm so awesome. Thank you, Lynn. Okay. Oh, I typed in the wrong link on Instagram. It says Recef with an F. It's reset. Okay. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself today. Remember, even the smallest steps lead to big shifts. You guys have got this, honestly. And you got to feel good to do good. Let's make this week one filled with joy and energy and momentum. Take pictures of your sidewalk chalk and all of your breathing and meditation. I can't wait to see and hear about it and share it in the Positive Pulse. And